We're here with Addison Hassan for another interview with our 2023 Steiner softball team, talking about Addison's career so far and the 2023 state championship. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm awesome. My first question I'd like to ask is, growing up in Hamilton, can you tell me how aware you were of Steiner softball, the success that they have as a team, and sort of the tradition and legacy of the program?
So for Steiner, I knew that they've always been a good team, and in 8th grade when a lot of my friends were in high school, I'd go watch them play and just, kind of watch games and just see how they play, and I've just always known that they were a really good team.
What is, in your opinion, the biggest difference from travel softball to high school softball? I mean, obviously you grew up playing softball your probably most of your life, right? But travel softball definitely has a different vibe and energy to it than high school softball. So if you could, what do you think is the biggest adjustment from travel softball to high school softball?
I'd say honestly different coaching. Both of my coaches for travel and for high school are really great, but just learning different coaching styles and playing with new girls. I've been with the same coach since I was in 12U, so I've always been used to that, and then when we got to high school I got to just learn new things from other coaches that it was just information that I didn't know before.
What are the differences in, say, catching Izzy Benassi, right-handed, low to mid-60s speed, throws a really good screwball, then versus, say, like Katie Samanka, left-handed, a little bit faster in the mid-50s, ball coming in differently with different spin. Can you just talk about what the difference, what adjustments you have to make?
I'd probably say, they both have their strengths. They're both amazing pitchers, and it's really great to work with both of them. Honestly, just communicating with them and what they're confident in that day and what they want to throw is more important than anything. Just working with them specifically and seeing what works best for the game, knowing what team we're playing, and just going inning by inning, talking to them, making sure that, I'm calling right for them and what they want is, we're just kind of on the same page and just working together.
Right. You've gotten a reputation, I think, as someone who can challenge runners and base stealers. So can you just walk us through what your preparation is, what your mentality is, what are you thinking about, how kind of as it unfolds? Can you give us a breakdown?
I would say that we know girls, especially around us that we play normally, from Notre Dame and Allentown. They have very good fast runners. There's some specific girls we know are going to run, but we do, Melker and all the coaches do a really great job preparing me for that, and just letting me know that hey, they're probably going to run. And honestly, my thought the whole time is, just get the job done and do it for my team and just get an extra out for us, so we just have some momentum. But the coaches definitely do a good job in practice, preparing me for that and working on stuff like that.
Specifically, I want to ask you about the state final and the runner you threw out in the 5th inning. It was bottom of the 5th inning. They get their leadoff girl on. It's 3-2. I mean, they most definitely think their style of play is to manufacture this run. They're going to steal second, they're going to bunt it a third, they're going to get her home on a ground ball or whatever. They most definitely believe they're going to tie this game. I think it was the second pitch of this next at bat, you gunned this girl down to second base and 1 out and base is empty. So first off, just tell me what that felt like, what you were thinking, the emotion of the moment, whatever you can remember.
I mean, that game was tough. It was, they were a really good team. A lot happened that game. Honestly, I was just doing anything I could to not, let that runner go. I knew Mia would be there for me wherever I threw the ball, and she was. Just my overall thought was just get that girl. That's, take 1 out at a time, 1 pitch at a time, and that was the mentality of the whole game.
So we talked in the state final, we just kind of walked through the last play, but is there anything from the game in general, the beginning to the middle to the end, that you remember that stands out? I mean, I'm sure a lot of it blurs together, but just curious if you do have specific memories of specific moments or anything like that through the game.
I would say the bullpen before, me and Z were like just thrown together. Like, we knew it was our last game together, no matter what. But just kind of that was, it was hard to, go through, but, we were both feeling really good about that game, and, just a normal bullpen. It felt like, it wasn't a pressure level, it was more of an excitement level that, I know I had. My first at bat, I'm pretty sure first or second at bat, there was 2 girls on, and, I knew I had to do something to get those runs in, and, I hit, which was really, I'm pretty sure it was an RBI. Yeah. Had that, and then just, the end of the game celebration, it felt so like unreal that it all happened. But most of it's honestly a blur. That's kind of it.
Being that you played in state finals in 22 and 23, my question to you is really, in leading up to those games or in the pre-game area, like, did they feel differently to you at all? And the reason I ask is because 22 sort of felt like fate, right? I mean, everything seemed to fall in place. The number 1 seed, we hosted everything in the section. We were the host team for the state semifinal. But then 23, we come back and it's hard, right? It's very difficult to go back. We're getting everybody's best shot. People are looking to make a name off of beating us. And at some points we were certainly written off. So to get back to that final, had to be rewarding in its own right. And then obviously to win makes them different. Okay, but I'm more thinking like, was there a difference in your preparation? Did it feel differently? Did it have a different vibe to it? What do you remember about the 22 versus 23?
I would say the 22 season was more of a nerve thing. I was a freshman on varsity playing these big games, and, I wasn't really sure, like, not that I wasn't sure what these meant, but I wasn't, because I've never been to this point, I wasn't 100% sure. It was kind of more like, like a wow factor almost. And then the 23 season, being at these games before, I just felt more relaxed and, more comfortable with these games, knowing I've been here before and just stuff like that.
So building off of that, you're a sophomore now, you're coming into your junior season. You've only known state finals at Steiner. I think as we just kind of said, like, it's hard. In leading up these first years, you went to 2 state finals, winning 1, but you said you had a lot of upperclassmen that helped kind of lead the way, and while you certainly proved you belong there, right, you did have these upperclassmen sort of doing the bulk of the work. Can you talk about how your role on the teams as a freshman and sophomore is going to be different, and how your role is going to change now that you're the upperclassman coming up to a junior year and a senior year that's going to be responsible and helping Steiner to stay at that level?
I would say that, no matter what age you are, you can always be a leader in some way, especially a leader by example, just having a good attitude the whole way. But especially my, this freshman and sophomore year, just try to have a good attitude throughout the whole thing, picking girls up all the time. But then for, these coming years, just being a captain and being an upperclassman, I think it does allow like a little bit more responsibility, still the same thing, picking up girls, helping each other out, just being able to, do whatever we can to still have a great year, have good team chemistry, and work together.
So in the middle of the 2023 season, we talked about how hard it was to get back, right? You are getting everybody's shot. Teams are looking to make a name off of beating Steiner. We are 8-4, but it's not like we're playing bad teams. We've lost 4 games by a total of 6 runs. Okay, all to teams ranked in the top 12 in the state. Certainly not bad softball. But I also think anyone watching can see the difference in the energy and the vibe of the team towards the end of May and the first week of June. That was vastly different from what it was in April. So just in your opinion, could you sort of tell us what you think the difference in that was, what you think sparked that change or motivated the team to be so different.
I think we kind of just realized like how bad the coaches wanted it, how bad we wanted it, and the upperclassmen just kind of put us together, and we had a lot of long talks, and they really led us to not just being teammates but to being good friends on and off the field, and being together more and just doing stuff together that obviously led to the field, and we all just became really good friends at that point, and it just showed.
So I'd like to ask you about some just moments that you remember. So I want to ask you for 3 things for the 2023 season. One is going to be a moment of yours. So if I ask you about your 2023 season, what jumps out at you? What's the one thing you remember more than anything else?
Probably just the friendships that I made with a lot of the girls. Especially like Izzy and McKenna graduating. It was and the other seniors, Abigail, Paige, Sierra, just them all graduating. They were like some of my really good friends. Just being able to spend those last few months together and being able to play together.
So an individual moment from the 2023 season that's not yours, that if I ask you for just one play that sticks out for you a little bit more than the rest, even though we know there are a lot of them, just one that maybe sticks out a little bit more that someone else did.
I would probably say Abigail's diving play in left field in the Colts Neck game. That really set the tone for us, and after that I feel like we just kind of knew in our minds that we could all do it.
So then, just for the 2023 season, a game that sticks out, you can't choose a state final. I mean, everybody would choose that, right? Because it's just everlasting. But just a game beside that stuck out in your mind, again, just a little, and we know there's a lot of good wins and against a lot of good teams, so no disrespect to anyone else, but just one game for you that sticks out a little bit more than the rest.
I would probably say the game against Shawnee. We had those lightning delays. We kept having to go inside, and every single time that we went out there, we came out strong for each other, and we did what we had to do.
So just end with a little bit of word association. So I'm just going to say a word, and I just want you to think the first thing comes to your mind. If you feel the need to explain it, go ahead, but you don't have to if you don't want. So we'll just start and say softball.
Love.
Coach Melker.
Determined.
2023 seniors.
Upsetting, but also happy for them, and being able to spend time with them.
Notre Dame.
Competitive.
Robbinsville.
Challenging.
Steiner.
Family.